Assassin's Creed Origins has been cracked. People with pirated versions of Ubisoft's game on PC will now be able to bypass the DRM anti-piracy software and just play the game. However, Assassin's Creed Origins has held out longer than anything recently.
Last year, many PC games were cracked and left open to piracy on the same day they were actually released. Yes, day one cracks were a common story in 2017, as games like Total War Warhammer 2, FIFA 18 and Tekken 7 were broken open in less than 24 hours. Others like Resident Evil 7 and Rime were also cracked in just days. The Denuvo anti-piracy software seemed to be finished. It was barely protecting games for hours, let alone days. Well, Assassin's Creed Origins launched at the tail end of the year, and that's been a different story. It launched with Denuvo 4.8, a new version of the software which seemed to be doing the job once again. Launch day came and went for Assassin's Creed Origins, and the game remained uncracked. Then it was launch week, then it was a month. It wasn't long before the community on the Crackwatch subreddit began speculating whether the game would ever get cracked.
The game had layer upon layer of DRM and protections attached to it, literally. For legitimate gamers playing on PC, their system's resources had to contend with Ubisoft's standard Uplay DRM, another system called VM Protect, and then Denuvo version 4.8 on top of all that. Well, this weekend it happened. Assassin's Creed Origins was hacked, opening the door for the game to be pirated on the PC. Italian hacking group CPY announced they'd finally cracked the game on the Crackwatch subreddit on Saturday. The group are behind some of the biggest video game cracks we've seen in recent years, including Doom in 2016 and last year's Resident Evil 7. Denuvo 4.8 was first cracked in January for the game Sonic Forces, but thanks to Assassin's Creed's extra walls of protection, that game did survive a little longer. Now that it has been compromised though, it's interesting to think what might happen next. Origin's many layers of protection has caused many layers of headaches for gamers who bought the game fair and square. Many players have complained that the Denuvo, VM Protect and Uplay protection pylon combined are sapping their system resources, slowing down the game. Publishers like Bethesda with their game Doom have in the past opted to remove Denuvo once it was compromised. After all, what's the point leaving it in there anymore? Denuvo even says that the software's main job is to protect the game's launch window when chatter and interest around it, and therefore sales opportunities, are at their highest.
Assassin's Creed Origins lasted 3 months before it was compromised, so job done, right? Might as well take out all the system crunching DRM. Well, Ubisoft's not exactly been one to remove DRM from their games in the past, even after they've been compromised, so maybe not. And for anyone thinking this news means that games protected by Denuvo 4.8 will now all be cracked on day one in future, the company has already released version 5.0 of its software. Dragon Ball FighterZ launched on January the 26th with the 5.0 version of the software. It remains uncracked. 3 months is like a lifetime for the cracking community compared to how it was in 2017. Like we said in this voiceover, there was games that were getting released at midnight. By 2 a.m. they were being cracked. Denuvo was still trying to explain it away like, well, we've done the job actually, because that very important 2 hours of launch window covers quite a substantial amount of chatter, but it wasn't really anything. Denuvo were really trying to play it away like, well, actually, if you look at the stats, guys, we have protected it for a bit. I'm sure a lot of people would argue the opposite. This though,
shield made out of styrofoam or something. It's just, I don't know what that analogy.
Oh, imagine how much it would have hurt without the styrofoam. Yeah, be grateful. But 3 months is actually no joke, especially with Assassin's Creed. People want to play it as soon as it's out. Over Christmas, there was sales on it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have a feeling anyone that really wanted to buy the game would have bought it by now anyway. So arguing it 3 months really does make a difference. It's a lot easier than their previous 2 hours or whatever. So yeah, it only took 3 different companies working together to buy them some time, 90 days of time. But I don't think that's going to happen again anytime soon.
DRM has and always will be a contentious issue, I guess, is the publishers have got one attitude towards it. They do think it protects their sales and whatever, but then there are some companies out there like CD Projekt who've got a store, GOG.com, completely dedicated to DRM-free games. That's not, there's not Steam or anything attached to those games, and Steam these days is not only, accepted, it's preferred by a lot of people. They like having a Steam library. So a huge variety of opinions on this, and the fact that it's lasted 3 months is probably a result, I think, for Ubisoft, but they've already had to release an update to Denuvo. There's already Denuvo 5.0 Denuvo out now, because if they were just to settle on Denuvo 4.8, that's the way these things work, that would just get shattered wide open again. So if they kept it the way it is, any game that's got it in future after this has happened, I imagine, that would be cracked like even quicker and quicker and quicker, just like we saw last year with some insanely quick cracking times for those games. And it really did affect almost all of the big releases that I can think of. Any game that had Denuvo attached to it, that was just busted wide open.
In most cases, it was cracked before people who had legitimately bought the game had time to download it. Do you know what I mean? Like 8-hour downloads for some people, 2 hours to crack it. Whether this is saying that the future of Denuvo looks quite bright with 3 months in 4.8, 5.0 could offer 6 months, or the fact that CPY and other crack teams will be kind of figuring out how all the encryption works and how to decrypt it. 4.8 could have been the swan song for Denuvo, and 2018 could be the year we see DRM removed. It sounds quite stupid, you know, but Denuvo has absolutely failed over the past 12 months. This is the only time they've really had anything that they can be proud of, as far as I'm concerned anyway.
So Assassin's Creed Origins has been cracked. If you've got a pirated version on the PC, you can play it now. What do you think of this? Let us know down in the comments below. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed it. Please do subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this every single day. There's another video right there which you could watch right now if you want, and the link to Patreon. See you next time.